My name is Jamin Goecker. I'm an associate real estate broker in the state of Alaska, and my mission, as always, is to help you to build an intentional and significant legacy for yourself and your family. Today, we're going to be talking about the real estate market update for Eagle River, and we're going to be looking at the single-family homes, the condos, and the multifamily market. Before we get started, though, get this video liked, subscribe, do all that good stuff. We're getting really close to 10,000 subscribers if we're not there already by the time this video is published, so if you can go ahead and help with that, that would be greatly appreciated. Now let's go ahead and jump into the market update today, looking first at the single-family market. Now the first thing we see is that the number of single-family properties that are available on the market for Eagle River went from about 52 this time last year to 69 this year. So on paper, that looks like a proportionally pretty big jump. Keep in mind, though, usually we would see about 100, 120, up to about 160 properties available on the market. So we're still way down for the inventory of what we normally see in Eagle River, which, I mean, we know why that is. Just about everyone refinanced or purchased a couple of years ago. And for that reason, a whole lot of people are just not real excited about the idea of letting their property go. So we're not seeing a whole lot of movement there anytime in the near future. We can talk more about that in the summary, but it's kind of a sneak peek into the summary, though. The next thing we see is the number of properties that have actually sold in Eagle River for single family at least went from about 45 this time last year to 42 this year. And pre-COVID, you know, we would normally see about 50 or so properties, somewhere in the 40s. So that's more or less in line for the demand that we're seeing. It's just there's fewer options available historically than there have been. Now, looking at the reason that most people actually tune in, let's take a look at the average sold price. So the average sold price year to date went from about $496,000 this time last year to about $505,000 this year, which means we're looking at approximately a 2% increase for the appreciation here in Eagle River. So that's nice, a little appreciation rate. I suspect it's probably going to be increasing as we're closing out the year here. I would kind of expect to see a faster rate of appreciation in Eagle River, but you know, things are still expensive here. I think Eagle River is actually one of, if not the most expensive places to live. Like really, once you're looking at the entire municipality and Anchorage in general, you've got areas within those pockets. Obviously, they're more expensive, but as an entire community suburb area, Eagle River is probably right up there, if not all the way to the very top. I mean, unless you're comparing it to Girdwood. Anyway, sorry, I'm really getting off track here. But yes, we're seeing an increase, approximately 2%. All right, switching gears real quick. Let's talk about what's going on in the condo market. Now, condos are not a particularly big part of the makeup of the market right now here in Eagle River. I suspect that is probably going to become a bigger and bigger part of the market here as we move forward because there's limited space. People want to move here, and really the only direction you can go is up. So for that reason, yeah, let's go through the condo market. So this time last year, there were 6 available on the market, and this year there are 10. And before we get too excited, pre-COVID, we would usually see about 20, upwards of about 30 or 40 condos available on the market. So going in the right direction during a time like this where everyone's kind of feeling the pinch. People may or may not be excited about the idea of letting go of their affordable housing option, which is what a condo represents. You're not talking about appreciation nearly as much as you would with a single family home, but price to do it, the price to keep a condo, is much less than what a single family home is going to be. And so it does become more affordable. And so for that reason, inventory is probably going to remain pretty scarce for a while. Now, looking at the number of condos that have actually sold, we see that this time last year there were 3, and this year there are 7. So we're seeing a bit of an uptick in the number of condos that are actually selling. Probably has more to do with the fact that there's just more condos available at a specific time. I've had multiple people reach out to me recently asking about condos in Eagle River, so I suspect this is going to continue to be an asset class in Eagle River that's going to become a more valuable commodity as we move forward. All right, now looking at the average sold price year to date, we see that this time last year, the average sold price for condos was about $295,000, and now it's right around $327,000, which means we're sitting at about a 10.8% increase for the average sold prices for condos here in Eagle River. Now, keep in mind the sample size is a lot smaller usually than what I would like to see once we're doing anything as far as averages go. So you can have like just 2-3 newer condos, and obviously that really throws the numbers all off there. That being said, though, it would not surprise me that we have seen, even after adjusting for that we have seen appreciation for condos here in Eagle River, just because like I mentioned before, it's limited space and people still do want to move here and they do want affordable home housing options. And so condos are probably going to have more and more demand for them, which in turn does make the prices go up. So not a big surprise there. Let's go and take a break real quick here. If you like the drone footage and everything you see here on this channel, do make sure you go check out my Instagram page. The handle for that is going to be in the description section down below. And I do make quite a bit of reels just using the footage that you see from the videos here and some of the other footage that's newer and just hasn't made it onto the YouTube channel yet. So that's something that you'd like to see more of. Do go check out my Instagram page and yeah, would love to interact with you over there. And let's go and finish up today's market update, though, looking at the multifamily market. All right, now looking at the multifamily market, we see that this time last year, there were 2 multifamily properties available, and now there are 5. Now, just looking at this, that is definitely an increase, but pre-COVID, we were looking at about 10 to 13 multifamily properties available on the market. And now we're looking at, about 5. So, that's still better than what we had before. So at this point, you kind of just get what you get and you don't complain, but that's still not nearly as much inventory as we've had in years past. Looking at the number of multifamily properties that have actually sold this time last year, there was 1 multifamily property that sold, and this year there is 1. So not a whole lot of movement there. All right, this next one is kind of why I don't really like looking at the average sold prices when we're looking at multifamily specifically, and I'll go through it and explain why. So this time last year, average sold price for multifamilies in Eagle River was about $429,000. This year, it's about $982,000, which means we've seen about approximately 130% increase for the average sold price, which is the highest rate of appreciation I've seen for any asset class since we've been keeping data on this channel. Now, before we get too excited, though, if you're a multifamily owner, we all kind of look at that and I think just about everyone thinks, yeah, there was probably like some big commercial property that sold. They just threw off all of the data because the sample size is a little small. That being said, though, I still believe there's probably been a pretty good appreciation rate for properties here in Eagle River. People do want to rent here, and so properties here are pretty valuable. It's a much lower cap rate, which means your headache that you're going to be putting into the property is much lower than you're going to get in a lot of other places. And so for that reason, it's pretty in high demand if you're a property owner, landlord, and you want to invest. Yeah, so I definitely can see there being an increase in average sold price and there being appreciation in properties here. I don't think it's gone up by nearly 130%, though. I'm just not quite seeing that. Now, looking at the summary real quick, it's kind of more of the same as really what we're seeing. The inventory is likely to remain low moving forward. Average sold prices are going to continue going forward. If you're on the fence and you're trying to decide, hey, maybe I should just wait and see how the election shakes out and everything. I've heard a number of people want to do that, and you can certainly do that. I understand the sentiment sometimes, but the reality is that in an environment like this, it's a better idea sometimes to just get something locked in, and then later, if interest rates come down, then you can refinance, because that's a much easier thing to do, to just refinance than it's going to be to try to suddenly compete with a bunch of people who are jumping into the market, because that's what happens if interest rates suddenly do come down. And a great way to increase a lot of stability and security for yourself, if you're unsure about the times and the stability of the climate and everything, is to purchase and stabilize the biggest line item in your entire personal budget, which is going to be the cost of housing. So that would be my 2 cents there. If you are a seller, still a solid market to sell in. You just got to make sure that you're doing the work, you're doing the things we need to do, like we're marketing it correctly, we're getting it to the right places, and also we're ready to be realistic as far as the expectations. Gone are the days where we put it on and we've got 10 offers within a couple hours, and we've got a bunch of people waiving inspections and all this other crazy stuff. That's probably not going to happen. We're going to get the top market value for your property. We're also going to expect buyers to come in and probably ask, at least initially, for you to pay some closing expenses for them, because everything has gotten so much more expensive, okay? So let's not be surprised when we start seeing that coming back. So it's still a solid seller's market. It's not the market we had in 2000 around the COVID time period. If you're an investor, Eagle River still does remain pretty appealing. You just got to know what you're looking for and make sure the numbers really do shake out. If you have questions about any of this, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to be your real estate broker if you're looking at something to buy, sell, or invest in Eagle River. But other than that, thank you for your time, and we'll see you next time.